What is up, peeps? Auto in TCG. I'd like to welcome you back to another YouTube video, and today we're going a bit wacky. We're going to be playing Virizion-GX, and this list is kind of crazy. It has 20 Pokemon, and actually has the likes of Venusaur, Grovyle, Sceptile, Lurantis Promo. It's just a weird grass box deck that is focused around using Virizion as the primary attacker. The reason why we're playing Venusaur is so that Virizion can use its main attack, Sensitive Blade, for just 1 energy, which is great. Sensitive Blade is great, being able to hit 130 damage for playing any supporter during your turn, which we're looking to do every single turn, obviously. And we have Lurantis Promos in there. If we get 2 of them out, damage can stack up very, very heavily. We have 150 with a Choice Band, and then we have the Lurantis Promos. If you add them together, that'll actually be 190 damage just with the Lurantis Promos and a Choice Band. So Virizion can actually hit some pretty good numbers. It can go from 2-shotting to 1-shotting depending on what you're up against. And when we're 2-shotting, we have the likes of Aether Paradise to give it some tankiness, effectively having 200 HP as a basic Pokemon. And we have Life Forest as well, just in case our Aether Paradises all go down. We can play that as well to just heal up our Virizion as it takes damage as well. So Virizion is a very interesting Pokemon in this current format. The reason why we have the Sceptile list is to counter Blacephalon, and also the Grovyle is fantastic for just searching out the cards. Considering we're playing a bunch of Pokemon, we need Grovyle to be able to just search things out. But it is a very thin Grovyle line. It is a 1-1-1 line for the Sceptile, so you're not always going to have your Grovyles out. That will be a bit inconsistent. However, we play the likes of Apricot Maker, which you're seeing here, to get our Ultra Balls out, to get our Nest Balls, so we can get the necessary Pokemon out if we need them. So we don't need to worry too much there. But yeah, I think the primary Pokemon search would be through Grovyle, so maybe we could try and incorporate a 2-2 line or a 2-2-1 line, but it's quite thick, especially considering that you're also playing the likes of a Venusaur line. So this is very similar in itself to my Heracross deck. My Heracross deck had a very similar very similar structure. If I'm going to say that. Let's Apricot Maker him and just actually get 2 Nest Balls. We need to get some basics out. I prefer playing Apricot Maker in this deck because it just thins our deck with these Nest Balls out of the way. And we don't really play much 60 HP Pokemon, so it's better off that we Nest Ball for our Pokemon on the first turn rather than going for a Elm's Lecture, because we can't. I kind of want to also get a Fomantis out, because we have the Pokemon here that we can evolve into pretty much right away. So we're just going to pass. And yeah, we can just manually evolve into the Ivysaur, into the Lurantis Promo, go for a Cynthia or a Lily. We're playing against a Lost March, which is quite tricky. But if we just get things set up, we will be able to just take some nice KOs. And maybe I should have, instead of thinking too heavily and getting the Fomantis out, I think I should have got the Virizion instead, considering the Fomantis is not going to make that big a deal. We're one-shotting anyway. So getting Aether Paradise is quite important for us because it just gives us a bit extra tankiness. They have to hit higher numbers in order to take us out. So that should be something we need to consider as well. Also, a great thing about including the Sceptiles, it can attack itself. We're playing a Venusaur, so every energy in play is a double grass energy. So the Sceptile can also come in and do some extra damage as well. So if we do need to, we can get that out. Nonetheless, I think Grovyle is really good for setting up stage 2 decks. It's just really, really cool. Being able to just search out grass Pokemon every single turn and evolve whatever you want into play. It's a similar concept to Ninetales GX. Ninetales obviously gets the rare candies out for you. But Grovyle's also pretty good because you can just use it every single turn. You can get any Pokemon you want. That is a grass Pokemon every single turn as well. I think Grovyle is a fantastic Pokemon search engine. And you could play a deck where you just play Nest Balls and Grovyle if you really want to. And just go down that road. But anyway, I think that's a bit silly, but it basically just to show how good Grovyle actually is. Now, they've got a bomb start. They have 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. They're hitting 120 damage like that. Like, no problems. This deck is just on fire, like right now, which is extremely scary for me. Because, well, what can we do? We just got to sit here and watch them just go insane. And it's not fun. It's not too fun watching your opponent just blow while just sitting there going, well, yep, game over. Just from the get-go. It's not too fun, but we just we'll roll with it and see how this game fleshes out. Hopefully we pull off a win here, but playing against Lost March, and look, just so much ball search on their end. It's insane. So 140 damage right away. It's I'm just going to call game over. I'm going to be completely honest here and just call game over. You just don't set up that well, man. That's just insane. That is absolutely insane. We'll leave the Fur Mantis in the active, considering that it's if it gets KO'd, it's not that big a deal. It's not that big a deal because we're not just losing that much damage. At the end of the day, let's just get rid of this Fur Mantis and the Lily here and just get a Virizion out. We just need to. Virizion, there we go. Losing out on the Trico there was kind of a big deal because we could have got ourselves a Venusaur next turn, which would have been good. But we're just going to sit here and let them take it out. Bit of a shame, to be honest. We're just playing a deck that's way too fast, and it's a bit disappointing if I'm going to be honest, because I want to play a fun matchup when you play Lost March, and when it sets up this well, it's just you lose, and it's not really that fun of a game. Now, don't get me wrong, I like playing Lost March. I think everyone likes playing Lost March, but not many people like coming up against it, because you just... most of the times you just lose. And Lost March has gotten some pretty good grounds here, especially with the likes of Shedinja. Did very well in the most recent regional championship as well. So I think Lost March is starting to gain its footing, and I don't know if that's good for the format, if I'm going to be completely honest. The fact that they retreated means they probably got a Guzma. And I think, yeah, we're just going to scoop. That's just bad. We're just going to scoop, and we're going to go into another game. They set up way too quickly, and that's just not fun. It's not fun to watch. It's not fun to play against. Let's just get into another game and see what we've got here. But yeah, my original point on Lost March, I made this tweet saying it's like the game didn't need it. It didn't need Lost March. It's another archetype, don't get me wrong, and I am a fan of Lost March, but we just didn't need it. Night March went out. The game just when Night March. To be fair, I don't know if Night March. I don't know what happened with Night March, but it's just that it's just a deck you don't want to play against. You just don't want to play against it. It's just, I don't know. I think it's too much of an autopilot deck where it's not entertaining. It's just play. I love Lost March, but I haven't played it since I've did the was it a stream? The stream with me playing Lost March with Shedinja, and the reason why I played it then because I was like, Shedinja, that's fun, cool combo. But then since then I haven't played it because it's just too much of an autopilot deck where it just takes the fun away in playing the game. In my opinion, you don't have to think, you just do. Obviously, I'm overemphasizing you have to think in your game to make sure you're doing the right plays. Don't get me wrong, but it's just, I don't know. It's just like so linear. It's just not too fun. Whereas when you play different types of decks and crazy wacky decks, which I love doing, obviously, it's the concept of this channel. It's so much more fun because it's refreshing and it's new. And it's interesting, comboing things that aren't really meta, but they are able to be comboed. It's always interesting. So when it comes to playing against Lost March, or playing Lost March for that matter, it's just, it's stale. That's the word I would use for the Lost March deck. It is a bit stale. And I am quite a fan of it. It's just, it's not that fun to play. I'd play it if I want to win, but that's really all I would play it for. I wouldn't play it to have a good time, right? If I'm making sense there. I hope I am making sense. I shouldn't have got rid of that Cynthia. What am I doing? Either way, we're rolling with it. We're rolling with it. Trico is most important to get out. As I said, we need to make sure that we do get the Grovile and just start setting up. So that's great. Fur Mantis, we'll drop the Fur Mantis here, and we will go for a double draw just to draw some extra cards. That'll be all right with me. So I'm assuming we're playing a Virizion-GX deck here, which is quite intriguing. I'm quite interested to see how this deck unfolds. However, it looks pretty easy to figure out. They've obviously going to go for the Magneton and just attach with the Raichu. The thing is with Raichu is it's just outclassed by Rayquaza. Although Raichu is strictly lightning energy, it's just better off, instead of playing Magneton, playing Vikavolt. And then instead of playing Raichu, play yourself Thunder Mountain, eh? Instead of Raichu, play yourself a Rayquaza. Now, you don't get, obviously, Electro Power and stuff. And I know there's a really cool item card coming out soon, which I think it's like something... Is it Electro Charge? I don't know. But it allows you... If you flip... I think it's flip 2 coins, and every hedge you throw an Electro Power from your discard pile into your deck, allowing you to reuse your Electro Powers, which is just busted. And Jolteon GX loves it. especially when you have effectively a Jet Punch on a Jolteon and you just go for Electro Powered, and then it's amazing, right? And that's what makes Buzzwole great. So of course Jolteon's doing good, which I'm so happy about. Jolteon's like my favorite lightning Pokemon, partnered with Raichu. So seeing Jolteon do good definitely makes me feel pretty neat. Right, we're just going to go ham here. We're going to play Cynthia, and hopefully we hit a Lurantis promo, because we would love to do some extra damage on this bad boy. It'd be really fun. Oh, and we did. Oh, sweet. And we got the rare candy. This is fantastic. See, this is nice. This is a lot better than the last game. I'm really happy with it. So let's go and bench a Bulbasaur, and we'll grab ourselves with the Grovyle. For next turn, we'll grab ourselves a Venusaur. Which is, although kind of pointless now because we've attached to the active Virizion here to attack, it's great for just continuing on. Right, so we go for a sensitive blade here. How much damage are we hitting? I think it's 170, if I'm correct. 180. Nah, 180, the magic 180. Well, what used to be the magic 180 in the early Sun and Moon format, 180 was like the number to hit, and then it went to 190, and now it's like, okay, 210. But to be fair, it was raw 180 choice band 210. But it reminds me of when Drampa was good. Drampa was like the one you wanted to play because 180 was like, yeah, the 180 is the magic number. It knocks out your basic GX Pokemon. But now it's just like the only basic GX Pokemon you see play are the ones that are ridiculously good. You know, Buzzwole, Rayquaza, Blacephalon. They're like busted, right? And they're the only ones that really see play now when you come to basic GX Pokemon. That's my 2 cents. Anyway, right, nonetheless, we are going to be knocking out this Raichu, which is nice. I'm tempted to throw out a Life Forest just to heal, and I think I will because this deck is poke damage, and Life Forest just deals with poke damage very well. We'll Grovyle to Thin, and we'll grab ourselves another Virizion. Yeah, we'll grab another Virizion. I want to get another Fomantis, but I think we're being a bit greedy in that department. So let's go for the Choice Band, and we'll go for a Cynthia. And see what we pull here. No, I'll go for the Nest Ball. Why not? We'll go for the Nest Ball, and then we'll actually grab the Fomantis. That's quite interesting. And then we can go for a Lurantis next turn with the Grovyle. This deck is just running so smoothly right now. I'm absolutely in love with it. Right, there we go. Live Forest here. And then we're going to hit a nice 180 again with the Sensitive Blade, which is great. So if you get 2 Fomantis out, you're actually hitting 200 damage every single turn. As long as you go for a supporter card, which is not too hard in this list. As you can see, we've got another supporter card in our hand, and we may even play the Apricorn Maker if we want to. So being able to hit 200 raw damage on a basic GX with just a singular energy, if you get things set up right, is something to definitely shout. You know, it's an interesting concept, and I like it. I like it a lot. With that said, they're going to go for their energy acceleration. I'd love to go for a Guzma and knock something out like the Magnemite. Thinking about it, but I just don't think we're hitting that, unfortunately. Right, Grovyle. Yeah, get me the man. Grovyle's too good, man. I think Grovyle's really good, in my opinion. I'm just going to throw that out there. It's great. Lurantis, out you come. And I don't really need to play a Lily. I guess we'll just play an Apricorn Maker and fail it, right? Just so we get the supporter, because the Lily could be used far better. Yeah, we'll just play the Apricorn Maker and see what we can grab out of it. I mean, we can get another Ultra Ball, and I guess we can get a Nest Ball, and then we can just thin. So yeah, this was my point earlier. We have like a bunch of Ultra Ball, but we've got everything out anyway, just because of the Grovyle. You get one Grovyle in play, and it's just like woof, everything. You're good. So anyway, 170 raw there, which is great. So yeah, really, really happy with this, and I'm really, really happy with Virizion hitting such high damage so easily. And yeah, it's very, very interesting. And I probably will release a video soon on a Lurantis GX deck where we also utilize the Lurantis promo card. Love to see how that goes. You could simplify this deck a lot more where you play more Lurantis promos. And you, instead of playing, you don't play your Venusaur. Well, because thinking about it, you don't need the singular energy attachment. 2 energy attachment is still okay. Now, it's a bit awkward, obviously. 1 singular energy is always better. But you don't need the singular energy attachment. So you could go for a much more refined version of the deck where you incorporate some more Lurantis to be able to allow Virizion to hit some way bigger numbers for its attack. Maybe that's a way you could go about it. Nonetheless, it is intriguing. So we're actually just going to go for a switch here, which is great. Yeah, we're going for a switch. So we're actually here with the Life Forest. And then we're actually going to go for a switch. We're going to actually bring out our Aether Paradise this turn. Yeah, we'll do that because I just wanted to tank some hits now, considering they're hitting bigger numbers. we will Ultra Ball away our Nest Ball and Ultra Ball, and we'll probably just fail it, I think. And we don't need to throw the Choice Band anywhere. We would just go for a Lily just so we can play a Draw Supporter. That would be interesting. And then we go for, I guess we could get another Pokemon out and just Ultra Ball that away, just so you don't really need it. Yeah, we'll Ultra Ball the Venusaur line away, considering our Venusaur looks pretty safe. We'll do that. Let's just get rid of these two as well, and then just fail it. Yeah, let's just fail it. We don't really need any more Pokemon. And then we just go, yeah, we'll just go in with another Sensitive Blade. We are in a bit of an awkward spot because we don't have a supporter to play next turn to allow Sensitive Blade. Well, there we go. You ask and you shall receive, right? We've got an Apecoron Maker there, so there we are. We're just going to be hitting some more consistent damage. So think of this like a buffed up version of the Heracross deck I came up with, right? It's just more powerful. It hits a lot more damage, and although thinking about it, I think the benefit of Virizion-GX is just the higher HP. It's just harder to KO in that sense. But hey, I love this deck, and I'm liking Grass Pokemon overall recently. Just investing myself in that. So you probably will see some more stuff on Grass Pokemon coming up. That's fine. We just get to play the supporter card, which is most important. Again, just don't need to attach anything. Just roll with it and just hit just a nice raw 140 damage there. Obviously the Aether Paradise reduces it by 30, so it does go to 140 instead, but nonetheless, this is just great. 200 HP Pokemon sitting out here hitting up to 190 damage, sorry, up to 200 damage every single turn with no struggles. Is just too much to ask for, right? It's just too much to ask for. You're just sitting there with Buzzwole hitting 160, and then you have to retreat and stuff, and that's for free energy. It's like, yeah, this is definitely something that is interesting. It's interesting, and I'm just intrigued by it. Nonetheless, let me show you the list so you can try and make it yourself and see what you could do with it. It is a bit clustered. I think that game went really well for us. I think it's a bit clustered in a sense where, like, we have 1/1 lines, which is always inconsistent. We have a stage 2, which also is inconsistent. It's all a bit much. It's all a bit much. But as you said, you saw it run there, and it ran pretty well. It ran pretty good, so I'm really happy with that. We didn't even need a rare candy, if I'm thinking right. No, we did. We did need a rare candy. We managed to get a Venusaur out with the Grovyle, didn't we? Yeah, that's true. That's true. Nonetheless, let me know your thoughts of this list. I'd love to see what you could do with this list. So if you have any ideas for any changes, let me know in the comment section down below. That's why it's there. Also leave a like if you did enjoy it. I don't know if I've said that the second time, but do subscribe for more. So tomorrow will probably be the Lurantis GX video, which would be fun just to see how that fares in comparison to Virizion-GX. That'd be a nice comparison to make with each video. But other than that, I will leave you to it. Thank you very much for watching, and peace. Did I just wink?